So welcome to our next episode in our series on making good coffee at home. And this one is, of course, as you might have guessed by the pictures, about grinders. You don't need to spend lots of money on grinders, but a grinder is a very important piece of equipment for home or obviously if you're in a cafe. I've got a bit of a mixture here. We've got manual grinders, we've got budget grinders, and we've got some fancy grinders as well. But my mission is not about what you spend, it's about spending that money correctly. So you can spend the money in the right way to make very good espresso. Not just any other coffee, but all the way through to espresso, which is one of the finest grinds on coffee. So join us as our little walk through these grinders so you can pick and choose which ones you want to go for. So the first thing to think about is what type of grinder you have. You've got manual grinders, which you can see. So that's a little manual grinder here. They're quite budget. They can actually be very good. And this particular grinder will do espresso grind coffee. The only challenge, of course, is you got to do this all the time to grind your coffee. So there's one thing to bear in mind. Are you going to get a bit fed up with it? Or is this going to work? And the answer really is, of course, down to your own setup and also how many coffees you make a day. If you're making a lot of coffee for a lot of people, then this maybe not be the best way of doing it. You could skip straight into a little automatic grinder. But again, this is a very good grinder. Will grind espresso level, and of course you can twist the grind to suit the grind that you need. Now, one common problem is people buying grinders which are called blade grinders, and you'll see from this one here, this has got some blades in the bottom of it. These chop the coffee beans and they're no good. The reason being is that you want to grind the coffee to get all those oils out of that coffee bean, and with a blade grinder all it does is chop the bean but it doesn't get the oils out. What you're looking to do is crush the bean, and you need a Burr grinder to do that. So B-U-R-R, and that is a set of burrs in a grinder that crushes the beans. So something like this, and they are together, it's two of these, and they come along and they crush the beans like this. And that gets all of those lovely oils out of the coffee beans, which is what you're looking for. So when you're looking for a grinder, don't buy a blade grinder. They're quite cheap, but they're no good whatsoever. You don't want to chop the coffee beans. So this is no good. We're gonna bin this. The next thing then is, of course, the burrs themselves. So, of course, this is from a bigger grinder, and different coffee grinders have different burr sets or sets of burrs in them. So this one is a good example. This would be an entry-level Burr grinder. They would be something in the order of £50. What would that be? $70. So this would be entry-level grinder, and the great thing about it is it's an automatic grinder. So you put your coffee beans in the top here. You choose your grind, how coarse or how fine the coffee is, and how many cups you want the grinder to grind. So basically, how long does the grinder run for? They're very good, but that's an entry-level Burr grinder, and it isn't quite good enough to give you the grind for espresso. So it's a great grinder, and it's a budget grinder, so it's just teetering on the edge of being okay. Unless you've got a very basic setup, I wouldn't bother doing that. It's worth spending a little bit extra and getting a grinder that can actually grind coffee properly. So again, I'm going to rule this one out. It's a good extra entry-level grinder. It's a DeLonghi KG79 if you want to look it up. But for what we're doing at home, making espresso, you want a coffee grinder that's going to do everything for you. That's not quite up to it. So we're going to get rid of that one, I'm afraid. So we're on to this one next, and that's the Wilfa grinder. Wilfa is a very good company. They make amazing grinders. And as you can see, it's a good sizable automatic grinder. And it's also a Burr grinder as well, so it's very good. And this is what's called a stepped grinder. So you can twist the dial, and you can hear little clicks as it goes on to different levels of grind. The issue, again, like the last grinder, is the Burr set isn't quite good enough for espresso. So it's great if you want a cafetiere, a filter coffee, so it's AeroPress, a stovetop coffee like a mocha pot, all of those coffees, V60, very, very good, but not good enough for espresso. A very good Burr set. So if you don't have an espresso machine at home, these are great. They retail somewhere in the order of about £100 sterling. What's that, 120, 130 on dollars. But a great grinder, worth every penny as far as that's concerned, only if you're not doing espresso. So nearly, but not quite. So now we've only got 3 grinders here left at the moment. So we've still got this one, surprisingly, manual grinder, very good. and we have these other two grinders. So this grinder here, again, is a budget level grinder. It's about £100 sterling. It's an entry level grinder, but this time the burr set is a little bit better. So it's just nudging into that area where you're making good espresso. So again, it's an automatic grinder. You have a digital screen at the front, so you can choose your grind, choose how long it grinds for, and gives you the right coffee. So we're okay with this one. This gets through. So as an entry level grinder, 100 quid, it's fine. That's okay, that's all you need. Again, like I said before though, the more you spend on a grinder, the better. It is the most important part of the equipment. I would always spend more money on the grinder than I would do on a coffee machine. And of course, with a separate grinder, as opposed to a bean to cup machine, you've got much more flexibility because you can make coffee for cafetiere, for V60, for different things. If you've got friends coming over and you want to make a larger volume coffee, that's fine. So as a more all-round solution, a separate grinder is good. And of course, an entry-level espresso grinder. So you're just in that territory of making good coffee. So that's a keeper. We're going to keep this one. But of course, then the next level up is really where you want to spend your money. It doesn't really matter. You can spend thousands on a grinder. I normally find that if you spend something in the order of about £200 to £300, you're getting a good grinder. So the niche Zero, the fellow grinders, and of course we've got a grinder here from Victoria Arduino, so it's a higher end grinder. This one would be about 1,300 sterling, and we consider more of a deli grinder, so it's for a small cafe or a deli, so you can make of course amazing coffee. So it is again all about the burr set. The burr set and the big grinder is significantly better than this, of course, and what's happening there is that when it's grinding those coffee beans, you're getting an even grind. So every little bean, every little kind of particle is an even size. So when the water is dissolving, it's like a solvent. The water is acting as a solvent. It's dissolving all those lovely oils out of those coffee beans and those coffee grounds evenly. And again, with a cheaper grinder, it doesn't do that. So you get some big lumps and little lumps, and you're not getting an even grind. And again, because of that, you might get a little bit of bitterness and sourness from that. So the better the grinder, the more even the grind, the better the coffee.